I feel such an intense energy when I'm at this place. I feel alive.
When we meet the families for the first time, it is such an amazing experience when a stranger comes to you and just gives you the biggest hug.
Hello, everybody on your Power Tribe. Coach Simone Kelly here, and I'm so excited to talk about a new partnership we're doing with Take a Trip, Change a Life. Welcome, Sixia Divine and Carissa Saint Laurent. Am I saying your last name right? Laurent?
Yeah. It's it can be said in a few different ways, I guess, depending on where in the world you are. I say Saint Laurent,
Oh, you
but
say like how it sounds, but I thought you had to say it sexy, you know.
I would prefer it be said sexier.
Okay.
But yeah, I married into this name, so it's I get what I got.
Right. Right. So, first and foremost, can you tell us about the company and both of your companies? You took the two companies merged together doing events together. So, who wants to go first? Chris?
I'll go first. So this is so funny. You're talking about being sexy. My name gets confused all the time. You replace the I with the E, and it's a whole different vibe. So anyway, I can appreciate the sexiness there. I'm so excited to be here to be sharing details about what we do and how we do it. And truly, this is such a beautiful opportunity to combine a nonprofit organization who is not only speaking about being a service, but we're out there, we're truly changing lives. We are taking trips and changing lives. So the nonprofit organization called Caritas Smiles, it really means it's two things. So Caritas in Spanish means baby face, and then the word smile is obviously smile. So what we do is we combine experiences with service, adventure, and wellness to really create an opportunity for people to use their superpowers in an area that they have never imagined. And so Caritas Smile started in 2011. And it started with my little boy, who was at the time, he was 4 years old. And we wanted to do something special within a community. And so we brought a bunch of stuffed animals in the back of a little red car. And we were randomly surprising children with these stuffed animals. And that simple experience of giving was truly transformational. It was something so small. It was a little teddy bear that really created something so powerful for us. And it was that power of connection, the power of of a smile coming from a child. Then when I told people about what we were doing, we were randomly surprising these babies that we saw in the small village of Monción, which is where my parents were born and where they met. Then they started asking more questions like, where specifically are you? Like, what developing country are you in? And I said, well, this is the Dominican Republic. So this is the other face of Dominican Republic, of humanity and the way that other communities, this is the way that they live. And so as I started to share photos and videos of what we were doing, then more people started to ask, hey, how can I help? Is there something you need? Can I go with you? Can I travel with you? And then as I started to share more stories of this very powerful experience of giving and everything that I received, which was much more emotional, much more profound, and made me realize a lot about what I was doing in the United States and how much I could be of service by doing small things. So as I started to share my experiences as an entrepreneur, as being of service to my audience that I was trying to sell to, trying to help, then I started to talk about the impact of how we could do small things with great love. And then Take a Trip, Change a Life was born, where we would surprise communities with not only toys for children, but then it turned into wheelchairs, walkers, giving money for women to buy their chemotherapy medicine. But as we started to be more of service, we were like, we also do a lot of adventure. We go out and we go hiking, we go to the waterfalls, we connect with communities. And as we're out there experiencing nature at its fullest, there's also a sense of well-being and wellness. And then from there, it morphed into what Take a Trip, Change a Life is. And Carissa will share more about our company. So with our company, Take a Trip, Change a Life, we partner with nonprofit organizations like Caritas Smiles, and we create these magical humanitarian experiences where you are being of service, where you are traveling with purpose, and you're using your gifts to really make a change. And there's more to it than that, but that's the summary of how Caritas Smiles started. And Carissa, if you wanted to share more about Take a Trip, Change a Life, where we're going and how we're impacting humanity, not only overseas, but also at home.
Thank you, Sixia. Hi, Simone. Hi to the rest of the audience and those of you joining us from home. It's beautiful to be connected to people who want to make a difference in the world. And that's really what Take a Trip, Change a Life is all about, is how can we go out in the world through the things that we already love to do, which is to travel, but then be able to do something meaningful in those communities. And Sixia and I have a shared passion that really came out of being lifelong travelers, of where you get to a point when you're traveling and you're in different locations and destinations where just being a consumer of that destination isn't enough. It starts to feel almost predatory, to be honest, of where you're in these locations and you're just kind of taking in the destination rather than giving of your heart, giving of your hands, giving of in some way to that community. And not just giving because it's good to give, but giving because it gives back to you. And it fulfills something that you don't get by just being a traveler in that destination and being a consumer of that destination. And so that's where my personal passion lies within the starting of this company with Sixia. She and I have worked together in past companies. And when she came to me with her nonprofit organization and the program that they were running, we started to build out new ideas of how can we bring this program to more countries? How can we connect it to other types of programming and other ways in which what is at the heart of Take a Trip, Change a Life, which is servant leadership? How can we start to bring that out into other communities and into other sectors of the world? And so Take a Trip, Change a Life is the sister company of Caritas Smiles, which is the nonprofit organization. So if you think about it in this way, the Caritas Smiles gets to run the service portion of these beautiful trips, find the nonprofit organizations, the projects, the people, the communities that we get to help and support. Take a Trip, Change a Life handles the planning of the logistics and the finding the right excursions and activities and the adventure and wellness portion of the trips, so that that trip is really well-rounded and offers this beautiful transformational experience. So at the heart of what we're offering here is transformation. And it's being able to be part of something that we hope creates more meaning, in your life, gives you a sense of higher purpose, and it just brings more joy into everything that you do. And then eventually the company will be the supportive agent to bring servant leadership and help you bring that back into your corporate settings, into your communities, and even into your homes.
I love the concept of it. And I think one of the things that it moved me to tears looking at some of the reviews, like some of the, like even 60, I just saw the wheelchair you gave to that gentleman in Dominican Republic. Your TED talk brought me to tears, how you helped somebody with leukemia. So it just blew me. I'm a little mushy, I admit. But I just love the whole servant aspect of it. And but I do also like that not everybody can come. So you do have a way of screening people to be a part of it. So can you break that down a little bit? Explain that to how that works?
Yeah, so I think that that's such a great question, and when people see what we do, because anything visual is very appealing, they get excited of, hey, how can I be of service in a way that I can share my superpowers, that I could share something that I have, and there's an application process, and so when people fill out the application, we review it, and then the interview process is the second step to help you get invited to travel with us. And the reason why we have this interview process is really for two reasons. The first reason is we want to make sure that the communities that we are serving, we want to make sure that it's a great experience for them. And at the same time, we also want to make sure that what you expect is truly what you expect. So when we connect with people, we let them know what the service project is going to be like, what it's going to be like when they go hiking to the waterfalls, what's it going to be like when they go to the river, what's it going to be like when we do our wellness experience, when we do things like cacao ceremonies, when we meditate. So when we share these experiences one-on-one, we understand what the person who's interviewing, what they are looking for, and whether or not it's something comfortable for them. When we travel to the Dominican Republic, there are going to be, the Caribbean experience of mosquitoes, as an example. It is going to be hot during certain months, but it is a truly magnificent experience when you can be somewhere else where you're not only visually taking in the mountains and the spectacular waterfalls, but you're also in connection with nature. You're also in connection with yourself, and you're also using your hands to give back to the communities that you are visiting. So when we connect with those individuals, again, it's really to make sure that it's great for our communities. It's something positive when we connect with the communities that we are serving. And it's also positive for you. And one other thing that I always let people know when we're creating these magnificent transformational experiences is before we select any service project, we always go into the community and we ask the question of, how can I help? Because that way we understand what the community or individual is looking for without people from the outside, organizations from the outside, assuming that a community needs something based on what we see. So the interesting thing about Caritas Smiles and Take a Trip, Change a Life is that we speak to the communities, we listen to them, and we ask their permission before going in, before being of service. And it really creates a unifying experience. And it's a collaboration between the communities and between the people that we're bringing from the outside.
Okay. And now one other thing that I love is how you asked about the superpower of the person coming to help. So tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so
I actually call myself a superhero trainer, believe it or not, because I teach intuition. So
there you go, you're
Exactly.
Superwoman.
yeah.
So we asked this question of what your superpowers are because each and every individual, each and every human being has a special gift. You're gifted with something, and that special thing can be dancing or singing or bringing joy to somebody in the way that you know how. When we ask those questions, we take notes. And if you are invited to travel with us, then we take those superpowers and we implement them into your experience, into the service experience. Where if, let's say, you're a phenomenal dancer, not everybody could dance, not everybody has rhythm. We know this, I've seen it, etc. But if this happens to be your superpower, then we'll incorporate that into how you are connecting with the communities that you are visiting. Let's say, you know how to dance some hip hop, you know how to dance, different kinds of bachata, because there are different kinds of bachata. You bring that and you are giving something of yourself to the communities that you're serving. So that's why we ask these questions. Carissa, do you want to add anything on that?
Yeah, I think the beautiful thing about it is that you're really coming with your gifts and giving of those gifts. So we're not just giving gifts of school supplies and the beautiful supplies that we can bring to these communities, but we're bringing your heart, your gifts, whether that's intuition, Simone, which is a beautiful superpower that someone might be bringing, or it's something more tangible, as Sixia was mentioning. The fact that we're incorporating those into the program means that this isn't just a cookie cutter program where you come and you just experience this thing that's laid upon you. The experience becomes what it is because of you, because of those who travel. So every single program is different because every group dynamic and the group of travelers are all different. So each program, each group of 12 plus the trip leader and assistants becomes its own incredible, like a ball of clay, that gets molded into what it is as it's happening.
So I just love the whole concept, and it seems like you really build community through that too. Because the testimonies I've seen, people like, I got to get back, I got to go back.
And they have returned several times, so they still and they do come back, and each and every time, as Carissa says, it's a different experiences because of the people that we attract and the selective process of people that are invited to travel with us.
Right. Top tier folk. So now my other question is, what is a typical day like? Even though I know it's not cookie cutter, but what is a typical day like as far as the pattern of when you wake up, where do you go, what do we do? And also make it clear that we're not sleeping in tents, because that's what I assumed at first. So I gotta be honest. I mean, I went to Peru, and my favorite part of the trip, even though we stayed in amazing hotels, was living in a cabin on the river and brushing my teeth in the river. Like that was my favorite part of the trip. But the bugs, no, not so much. But tell us, typical day, what is it like?
So typical day, we start off with sunrise yoga. So sunrise yoga between 6:15, 6:20 in the morning, depending on what month you're traveling with us and depending on what country you're going to. But in the Dominican Republic, we start off with sunrise yoga. And people have the option of doing light yoga, mindfulness. We have a yoga leader who joins us at every single program that we offer. And it's also a time for you just to kind of to center yourself and to prepare for the day. Everybody who travels with us, they get journals that are created by the children, by the Caritas Smile children that we serve. So I have one right here. It was painted upside down. But anyway, each person who travels with us, they get this curated one-of-a-kind journal made by the children. After our sunrise yoga mindfulness session, then we go to a typical breakfast, typical Dominican breakfast. After we experience that, there's something beautiful that we do, and it's been a tradition of Caritas Smiles. And before we consume anything, we say what we're grateful for. And it could be a word, it could be a phrase, it could be a feeling, it could be anything. So before we eat any meal, we go around and we just say something. Hey, we're grateful for the sun. We're grateful for the smile. We're grateful for the child that came to us and gave us a hug. So each person shares something verbally. if they would like. So after we have our breakfast, then we start off with our service project. Our service projects, they're different, and it depends on what project, again, we have. So as an example, for our program in January, from January 3rd to the 9th, we are looking to build a revolving clinic in a village where they don't have access to a clinic nearby. So that's going to be our service project. So we start by participating in that activity with other community people. So it's not only the people that are with us for that particular program, but we are connected with other community people that are also donating and participating, and they're using their hands and their hearts to help build. After we do that, then we head into our Dominican lunch. And that's another beautiful experience, because the kind of food that we eat, it's all locally grown from farmers. It's obviously fresh. It's just beautiful. And we also cater to gluten-free individuals and people who are vegetarians as well. Then in the afternoon, this is where we split it up and we do our adventure. So the adventure segment. So the adventure can entail hiking to the waterfall, doing a mini hike to the river, then jumping in the river, doing mindfulness while you're in the river, doing a cleansing exercise while you're there, connecting with nature. And then from there, then it's our wellness activity. And the wellness activities, they can range from doing cacao ceremonies, where we have a cacao leader, a cacao expert that talks about how cacao is grown, how it's used, and then the different variations. We also do things like mud ceremonies, where there's a special kind of mineral mud that you can put on your face. And then there's a ceremony that goes along with that. Many things to cleanse your aura, to really help you feel grounded in the place that you are visiting. And then after that, we have throughout the whole week, it's not only, 1 day or 2 days, but we do something called random acts of kindness. And so it's sprinkled throughout the whole week, like I said, where individuals that travel with us, they might bring extra books for children, pencils, art supplies, wheelchairs, walkers. So because we have Take a Trip, Change a Life, we organize it in a way that we know where there's the most need. So we will then randomly surprise these communities with these much needed resources, like somebody who just fell and broke their foot, and they don't have muletas, crutches. So we have crutches, and we'll surprise them with the crutches, and these individuals are so grateful. And then the element of surprise is just fantastic on both ends. So you really get to experience you being, if you believe in Santa Claus, you going and you being that person that, magically, says, hey, I know that you needed this, and this is for you. And we don't say who we are. We don't say we are from Caritas Miles. We really just try to minimize that. We are strangers doing doing things from our heart. This is for you. You don't need to know who we are. And many people have come back to us, and they understand who we are. They find out who we are. And it's interesting because it almost becomes a ripple effect. Then they have told us, hey, that wheelchair you gave us, well, we gave it to somebody else, just like you gave it to us. We surprised them. Or do you know that walker you gave my grandmother? Well, she passed away, but you know what? We gave it to somebody else. We surprised them like you surprised us. So we've heard beautiful stories like this. So our week is certainly, it encompasses what I feel like is real life. And we also support local businesses. So where we stay, Simone, they are these places that are locally owned, beautiful, amazing locations. We support small businesses, women's small businesses, and we really try to give back in that way, where we let people know that, hey, this is a boutique hotel, and it's very safe. It's also very clean as well. because we know folks coming from the US, thinking like you, we're going to be sleeping in a tent with tarantulas and this, that, and the other. You will not be sleeping in a tent. However, if you do choose to, we have had people that are like, hey, can we pitch a tent? Can we sleep outside underneath the stars around a fireplace? Yeah, sure. Yep, you can go ahead and do that. We typically stay in beautiful cabins in these really cool, interesting, socially conscious hotels.
Okay. Wonderful. I'm already tired. I'm like, that must be a long day.
That was a lot, I know, right? That was
It's so good every night. So now the biggest question, a lot of people are like, well, how does this work? Like, I don't know if I can make it. I can't afford it. And then there's so many ways that you can help with the cost as far as like getting people to help you. So can you explain that a little bit? Breakdown?
Yeah, so Chris, if you want, I'll talk about Caritas Smiles fundraising, and then we could talk about a special opportunity we have for January.
Okay.
So because we have this wonderful opportunity of working with nonprofits, and Caritas Smiles is a 501c3, there are many people that might say, you know what, I really would love to travel, but I can't make it this time, maybe because of funding or for some other reason. So we have programs that are happening. We have 2 programs happening in January. So we have January 3rd to the 9th, and we just added a new program happening from it is the 14th until the 20th of January. And if people aren't able to come during that time, then there'll be other opportunities for them to travel. As far as fundraising goes, through Caritas Smiles, people have done things like they've created cocktails for a good cause events, events where they're dancing for a good cause. There was one group who ended up doing like a dance competition, so they were able to raise money, not only to help pay for their program fees, but also the remainder of the funds would go directly to the service project that we were working on. And so we've done creative things like that. People have done bake sales, they've done car washes, they've done individual events at their homes. And the other interesting thing is, because I know there's many entrepreneurs on this call or that will be listening to this call, but they could always write it off as a donation where they're giving the program fees, they're paying for the program fees, but they can also write it off at the end of the year as a way, as a donation. So that's also positive.
Can you share also, because I love the idea, and I'm definitely going to do this, of like, let's say you finish building a school, or like you said, building the health, the urgent care center. What is it called?
Yep, revolving clinic.
Revolving clinic, with the t-shirts and thanking the sponsor. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes, so this is a great opportunity if people have connections at a corporation, and many companies are interested in being sponsors. So we'll take that sponsorship, and there's different kinds of sponsorship packages, but one of them will include having the name of the company that has given an X number amount of monies. Their name goes on the back of the t-shirt. Then once that individual who received the sponsorship from that company, when they get to the island, they give a thank you, a verbal thank you in front of the service project. And that it really illustrates what we do and how we do it, because we're so small that the program fees, they go directly to the service programs that we are helping with. And it's very significant, because with larger nonprofit organizations and companies, sometimes you don't see where your funds go directly, but because we're a small and growing company, you're able to see where your funds go. And you get to see the evolution of that. And not only that, but thank the company for helping you do this, to be of service, to give back to this wonderful community. And I think that many companies could really appreciate that.
Okay, love it. Anything else we might have missed that we should cover? I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, for the January programs, we are excited to offer your community a refer a friend discount off of the program fees. So if someone wants to come with a friend or they refer it to a friend, and both people are able to travel in January and come on one of these beautiful trips, then both of those travelers will get $500 off. So
Okay.
they would need to go through you, Simone, to do that, and make sure, of course, if you're signing up, that you are signing up through Simone or just by listing her name on the application.
Or on
And
power.
okay, yeah, great. You can use her company name as well to identify her.
And speaking of application, explain that process again, because I know you said it's an interview. So can you tell people how that works?
Yes, you can go directly to our website, and that's takeatripchangealife.com. And the application's at /apply. So takeatripchangealife.com /apply. You can fill out the application there. There's a field for you to put your name, Simone, so who referred you, and you can put Simone Kelly or Own Your Power, and that will connect them to you. And then once we review their application, we'll reach out if we see that they're a good applicant to interview. And after the interview process, we let people know pretty much right away on the next day, 24 to 48 hours later, whether or not they've been accepted into the program to travel with us.
Okay. Yeah, I love that you screen people, because who wants to be stuck on an island with somebody?
It has so much to do. I mean, everything that Sixia mentioned earlier, and then also, to make sure that the dynamic is good, just like you're mentioning, because you're going to be working together in a group. It's an intimate experience. There's 12 of you working together on these service projects, having meaningful wellness experiences and adventures together. So we do want to make sure that the vibe is good among that group.
And anybody that's in the Own Your Power family, when I go, I'll be doing Reiki, intuitive readings. I'll be able to bring some of the Own Your Power soul retreat elements to it. So I'm really excited about that, because I've been dying to go do something like this, but adding the service element is just an extra bonus. So I'm so happy that Sixia reached out to me. And then we can reconnect, and then I'm looking forward to going in January. Any last words, ladies? Oh, people might want to know the cost. I don't know if you want to break that down here when you do your call, because it's not $5 million. Don't worry, guys.
Well, we can share those details when we meet people in person, because it could, there's different variations, but we're happy to share that once people get on the call with us, and we can work through all of those details. But there is one thing that I wanted to highlight, Simone, because we had spoken about this before this call, and that was the experience or the relationship between the Dominican Republic and Haiti.
Thank you.
I think that that one thing that well, there's so many different things that Caritas Smile does through Take a Trip and Change a Life, but we are a humanitarian organization, and because there has been and right now there's humanitarian issues that are happening within the Haitian communities. I need for your listeners to hear this. When we travel to the Dominican Republic, we are individuals that are working with women and children despite where they happen to come from. The majority of the people that we serve are Haitians. So they are 50%, and I would probably say 50% Dominicans, 50% Haitians. And we understand that this is something so crucial that is happening within the Dominican and the Haitians community and the Haiti community. But when we travel, we are connecting people to real experiences, and we are human beings. And the other thing that Caritas Smile has done is we have unified Dominican and Haitian communities. As an example, there's a Haitian child who right now is having some difficulty with a muscular issue that he has. And the parents aren't able to leave this village because they don't have their papers to leave this certain area. And this is a health issue. It's a humanitarian issue. When Caritas Smile stepped in, we were able to to have the very first telehealth experience with the Haitian children, with somebody located in the United States, where at least we were able to give some kind of direction, some kind of resources, some kind of help as we try to figure out when we could get this Haitian baby to see a doctor. But we work with any individual. We are of service to human beings, and we want to make sure that that people understand that when we go to these communities, they are individuals that we are serving. It's not about separating people because of lack of paperwork or anything like that. So we are of the people, we are part of the communities, and we always ask the question again, how can I help? How can we help you?
All right. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah.
And one other point of clarification, just for anybody who's unaware of the region that and may hear of, strife or conflict going on in Haiti, it's very different on the other side of the island in the Dominican Republic. And so I would say, and you can clarify this or not, Sixia, but that it's safer, and that we also put in safety protocols as well. So we have local both safety measures and people there to help in those situations. So it's very safe. It's not something that anyone, a traveler, would need to be concerned with, but we also do have safety measures in place for that.
Yeah, I do remember you saying we have our own bouncers. No, I'm kidding.
We do actually kind of, there's always people around us. They're beautiful people. But yeah, we have between 3 and 4 bouncers, security people with us.
Awesome. Well, I'm so happy to do this, especially for January, the beginning of the year. What a perfect time to like be able to reset and connect and also give back. So any questions for anybody they want to come on camera or in the chat before we wrap up? Anybody? And don't forget, 60, you're the host, so you gotta press the buttons.
Yep. No problem.
Nobody's there? Nobody has anything to say? All right. Well, I will be sharing this replay. So if you do have any questions, please just email me, DM me. And oh wait, somebody did have a chat question. Hold on. Do you see it? Oh, they
I think it was a comment.
Thank you, Pridashan. She said this was great. Yeah, she said her and her significant other want to come, so are interested. So yeah. Oh, a lot of interest. I'm just like, I hope everybody steps up to the plate. But a lot of people are like, oh, I want to go, I want to help. So I'm sure we'll be doing many more, because you have, just briefly tell us the other locations you have in your sites for the future. I know nothing's set in stone yet, but you can at least share that so they understand. Teresa?
Yes, yeah, we've got Nicaragua and Guatemala probably next up, and then Oaxaca area region. I don't want to say Mexico because it's so huge, so we're specifically focusing on the Oaxaca area of Mexico. And outside of Latin America, we are starting to look at some communities in Europe as well. And, so the plan in the future is to expand out into all continents, or at least all habitable continents. And that includes the United States. It includes North America, here in the US, because we know living here, and traveling across the United States, there are many communities and many people to support and projects to help with here as well. So we'll be doing domestic trips and inviting our friends from overseas to come in here and experience the United States with us on those projects.
Okay. Well, I just want to commend you ladies for putting your beautiful brains together and making this happen, because this is really definitely changing lives, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
We can't wait to have you. I'm so excited.
Getting goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps all the time. And if anybody that's watching this that knows me knows, whenever I get goosebumps, that's like a good intuitive hit. Like, yeah, it's happened. Thank you, ladies.
Beautiful.
All right. Take care.
Thanks,
I'll put the URL for everybody. All right. Bye.